I had the pleasure of meeting Ron van Kemenade, who was then CIO of ING Bank when he spoke at the first DevOps Enterprise Summit in London in 2016. I loved this presentation because in so many ways he modeled all the things that we want from a leader as we change our ways of working. I loved how he described how technologists had become order takers in the business, trapped inside of processes that required requirement documents, approvals to do anything at all, and a sourcing scheme that required 7 calls to figure out what was happening for anything at all. And then he described the journey to help unleash the full creative potential of thousands of developers across the ING enterprise. And what I loved about the talk so much is that mostly it was about helping people learn to co-create outcomes not just with their fellow engineers, but with their colleagues within the business units. He talked about their mobile application at the time, which he said was one of the worst apps in the App Store. Quote, the only reason it wasn't worse was that because you couldn't rate an app less than 1 star. He talked about changing how development was done for their mobile application, which was a spark, and the focus was then how to create a fire. My reaction after seeing him talk was how much better the world would be if every technology organization had the mindset of someone like Ron. So I was so delighted earlier this year when Ron reached out to me because he had just achieved something he was incredibly proud of and wanted to share it with his community. So here is an interview that I did with Ron a week ago.
Thanks, Gene, for the opportunity to reconnect. And I'm proud to be back at the Enterprise DevOps with the IT Revolution. So back then, you announced me on stage as the CIO of ING. Actually, last year, I joined the board of ING globally. So I'm now the Chief Technology Officer, which includes still technology. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. It does cover information security, data management, and actually payment and settlement services. So it's a bit of a broader domain, but I still cover my beloved technology domain.
Awesome. And can you describe maybe how ING has changed, or the environment that ING competes within has changed since 2016?
Yeah, we're still very much operating our wholesale bank in all the regions that we do in the Americas, in Europe, and Asia, and Australia. We have slightly reduced our retail countries footprint, are focusing now very much on return on equity we make in every market we're in. So that meant we left some smaller countries, but we're still very much investing in our major markets, which includes obviously the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Spain, Australia, many more. And their technology is still very much supporting the growth of our business in country as well as cross countries with our bank technology platform.
Wonderful. So when we talked a couple of weeks ago, you had shared something that you've been extremely passionate about. In fact, you even hinted at it in your 2016 presentation, and you had described how you actually hit an amazing milestone recently. Can you tell us about that incredible achievement?
Yeah, I still remember I made a couple of promises in 2016. I remember, Gene, I talked about automating the evidence that we are in control over our risk and security, and we have very much done so ever since. And we could talk a full separate item on this one. I did announce that I believed my engineers could build and could create value actually for ING by taking away all the heavy lifting from the teams that need to create value for our customers. So creating features for customers and employees, and all that heavy lifting has been consolidated into what we call the bank technology platform. And I still remember I almost announced we would sooner or later decommission our mainframe. And we actually started in the Netherlands with decommissioning that mainframe, which was the by far largest one supporting the wholesale bank, the bank in the Netherlands, some of our group applications. And I even got a bit criticized by some people, experts in the mainframe domain on the register, as you may remember. But that's really the thing I'm very proud of, because we took it on and we actually made it happen, right? And we made a difference there because we, 3 weeks ago, completely decommissioned our mainframe and literally disconnected it from the network, powered it down. And by the way, it's quite a difficult machine to power down because it will typically ask you 4 times whether you are really sure, and then it will finally give up. And we did so.
But I kind of imagine the scene in my head is these giant loud fans finally turning off. I mean, was it as dramatic as that?
Now, it is as dramatic as that. And even that, Gene, the machine, if you have fully shut it down, then the fans will continue because it actually doesn't trust you that you really meant to shut it down. So it keeps its right temperature for maybe like an hour or two after you have actually shut it down, because it does expect you to turn it on again.
That's amazing, right? Those amazing engineers always thinking about us. And by the way, this is just to help me confirm my understanding. This isn't like one application that was running on the mainframe. Can you just maybe describe the scope of what was running on that mainframe and what business processes it powered, just to give us a sense of scale?
Yeah, so indeed, that's actually a very good question, because it sounds so monolithic, and to a certain extent, the actual physical machine with all the operating system and all the utilities running on that, basically half of the bank was running. So like our payment engines, many of our product engines like mortgages, consumer loans, business loans, a lot of business processes related to those products. Our customer and agreement administration was running on it. Part of the financial accounting was running on it. So consider it literally the core of the bank back then in 2016. Like over 250 big applications. So not small APIs, which you could count as an application in itself, but really big product, customer, payment related applications.